Hey guys, I'm Saurav, and in this video, let's talk about composition in photography. Now, before we talk about composition, let us understand what exactly a photograph is. So a photograph is basically a two-dimensional box which is actually representing a three-dimensional world. And composing your photograph means placing the elements of your image in a way that the image is able to tell or convey a story to the viewer. Now the question is, we have understood what composition is, but why is composition so important in photography? So as a photographer, the technical settings like the exposure, aperture, shutter speed, ISO, white balance and stuff are the technical things you have to master. The real challenge of photography is how you compose your image and your composition. So composition is the most important thing that will tell the story of the image to the viewer. As a photographer, you should work hard to compose your image. As a viewer, the viewer should not work hard to see a beautiful photograph. If he sees a photograph, it should be good enough. Okay, the viewer should understand what the subject is and what the actual story is. So that is the reason why composition is so important in photography. Now, I will show you certain guidelines that you can use for composition. The images that you're seeing are shot by some of the best photographers from India that I personally know. Thanks a lot to them for providing images to show you what exactly composition is, and you guys will have a better understanding how you can use them in your photographs. So let's begin with it. The first composition guideline is rule of thirds. Now, if you have read somewhere about composition, you might have heard about rule of thirds. Generally, as a beginner photographer, what we do is basically we try to shoot a subject and keep it at the center. Now, the thing is, if we do that, it might result into a boring image. So, rule of thirds suggests that you divide the image into three different parts, horizontally and vertically, into three equal parts, and place your subject in any of the four intersection points. Now, if you place your subject in any of the four intersection points, the human brain directly sees those subjects, and it's very easy for them to focus and grab attention towards the main subject or the main element of your image. So rule of thirds is a very easy guideline that you can use, and if you use rule of thirds instead of simply placing the images or the subjects in the center, you will realize that you're creating much more dynamic and better looking images. The next guideline is centered composition. Now, as I said that placing subjects in the center might make the image boring, but photography is an art form, okay, and it has exceptions, and similarly even this has an exception. Sometimes placing your image dead center can also make the image look interesting. So basically, when you're using centered composition, one thing that you have to understand is you have to balance the left and right part or the top and bottom part of the image. So now this type of composition works amazing when you have certain kind of symmetry in your scene or when you want to show some reflection. So centered composition can also create amazing images, and they can look simple but at the same time very visually appealing. So if you have some kind of symmetry, try to create an image with balanced composition, because that can look very pleasing to the eye, and also amazing images will be produced. The next composition guideline is leading lines. Now, as the name suggests, leading lines means there will be lines which lead or converge to a single point or your subject. Now, leading lines is a very strong composition technique that you can use to spice up your images and to make it much more dynamic. Now, the challenge while using leading lines is that always when you're shooting, you won't get those lines very easily. Sometimes the lines won't even be straight. There will be curved lines as well. It is your job as a photographer to visualize and have patience and analyze the scene and try to visualize what are the lines that you can use to compose your images. You can also place the most important subject or the element of your image in the point where all the lines are converging, and it can be a very strong composition technique to create very beautiful images. So make sure when you're shooting next time, try to visualize certain lines which can help you to create dynamic images. images. The next composition guideline or a composition tip is to use some kind of foreground interest. So now when we are shooting and we are so overwhelmed by the subject, we only focus on the midground and background and we kind of ignore the foreground, and that can be a huge mistake while composing your images. If you add some kind of foreground element that actually complements the scene, your images will look much more dynamic because you're adding interest from the foreground to the midground all the way to the background. So if you add some kind of foreground interest in your images, you will see that your images are slightly getting much more interesting, and it can also help to tell a story and to actually draw the attention of the viewer from the foreground to the background where the actual subject is present. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the focal length. Now the focal length you're shooting makes a hell lot of difference. So even if you're using a similar composition, it also depends a lot on what focal length you're shooting. So if you're shooting with a wide angle lens, it will give you a very different image. If you're shooting with a 50mm lens, it will give you a different result. And now if you're shooting with a 200mm lens, it will give you a different result. In short, the focal length matters a lot. Every focal length has a different look to it. As you zoom in, the background starts compressing. So you have to know what kind of shot do you exactly want, okay, and according to that you have to use the focal length. Maybe for if you're shooting landscapes and you want a wider perspective, use a wider angle lens. If you're shooting portraits, something about 35 to 85mm works great. And now if you're shooting some kind of wildlife or sports, something about 200 to 300mm works great. So you have to visualize what kind of composition do you want, and according to that you have to smartly select the lenses. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the aperture. Now why the hell am I talking about aperture in a composition video? That is why, because aperture is going to be responsible for the background. So if you focus on your subject and you use a wider aperture, the background will be out of focus. And you will do that when you don't have the background which is much interesting and you want to separate the background from the subject. Now, if you want even the background to be included, maybe it has some kind of interest, you will use a smaller aperture somewhere about f8 to f14. So depending on what kind of interest your background has or what kind of separation do you want from your subject, you have to smartly use the aperture. Now, if you don't know how exactly aperture works, I have a separate in-depth video about it. The link will be popping right here and also in the description below. The next tip is to place some kind of person in your image. Now, when you're shooting landscapes, it might be very difficult for the viewer to visualize the depth and the scale of the landscape. Placing a human being can actually change it a lot. It can not only add a different subject to your image, but also when you place such a human being, since you know what an average human being size is, you basically get to know the scale of the landscape. And this can really create a very dynamic and a very different looking image. So just with placing the human being, you can see the difference is a lot and you get to visualize the overall scene in a much better manner. Now the question is, sort of we understood what composition guidelines are, I got to understand the tips, but how should I keep this in mind? I understand, I said that this is the main challenge in photography. When you're photographing, you have to actually keep these things in mind at the initial stages. You can use the grids from your cameras. You can also use the grids that are present in Lightroom to actually compose your images in post-processing. But I will actually suggest to master them while you're shooting in camera. So initially it will be difficult, but as you're practicing, you will notice the process is getting easier and easier. Now, for example, you shoot for 99 times keeping all the things in mind. The 100th time you shoot, your mind will be trained automatically to compose your shot, and it will be a lot easier and a fun process. So make sure you're trying hard, but also at the same time you're keeping the compositions very simple. Don't try to complicate your compositions. Make the compositions simpler and also at the same time visually appealing to the viewer. Try to create better composition, try to create better looking images. I hope now you enjoyed this video and you know what composition is, and if it helped you, press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more such content. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.